Okay, we're back. Give me 1 second to get set up here. Alright. I have a shotgun. I got a shotgun. I named him Shotty. Don't look at my Shotty. Okay, 15 references aside. Tyler.
Dude, I was reading fucking people share the most messed up rules and punishments their parents inflicted on them as kids.
Oh
wow. And then there was like one that's up in flames. The worst punishment was one time they decided that we were such bad kids. My sister was like 14, I was 12-ish. That they took everything we owned and bagged it up into garbage bags and made us carry them out to a burn pile.
That sounds horrible. I know where that's going. That sounds absolutely horrible.
And out to a burn pile, and they burnt everything we owned.
That's some bullshit.
All of my childhood memorabilia, whatever the fuck that means, pictures, clothes, diaries, everything, burnt it all. Messed up. When it was done burning the next day or so later, my sister and I looked through the ashes, and all that was left were 2 silver rings of hers that we kept cleaned off and kept. That is like fucking messed the fuck up.
Yeah, it is.
I had to clean my phone.
There's like 2 ways I could go.
Oh, that's neat. Oh my goodness! Can this stop giving me a stupid reward event?
No. Can't stop giving rewards.
You know, I'll just read you this since I was actually wanting to read this before we'd actually started recording, so.
Okay.
It turned out they weren't a failure, but their dad sure was. My stepdad's favorite thing to do was wait till I got home from school, and then he would take my sister to get ice cream. Or some other equally fun activity, and then after getting home, he would use a wooden spoon on me and explain to me why I didn't deserve ice cream. Oh, okay, you know what? I was wondering how that was going to, like, fail. Because I was like, you know, getting ice cream doesn't sound that bad, but I mean, yeah, why didn't he take the one kid? Oh, it's because of that. He would say stuff like, see how nice I am getting your sister ice cream and you couldn't even sweep properly. What? See how nice I am getting your sister ice cream and you couldn't even sweep properly?
That just sounds fucked up.
It never made any sense. I hadn't even swept that day. Sometimes he would buy me something like candy and tell me I could have it when we got home. Then he would take it away and do the wooden spoon thing again, saying something along the lines of, I was nice enough to get you candy and this is how you repay me? While pointing at a messy kitchen or something, even though I had literally just got back from school and he made the kitchen messy. He got me so used to failing that I didn't realize he was manipulating me.
That's fucked up.
That is!
Okay, I figured out which way I'm supposed to go. This way.
Oh, that's nice. What's in that box? You need that because you're like 54 health. Wait, was that a first aid thing back there?
It was, but I've used it because I didn't know.
Oh, well then quick save. Okay. These household commandments turned their life into a nightmare. My childhood was riddled with household commandments. Here are some of my personal favorites. If you were old enough to have email privileges, all emails were fair game for parents to read. Same goes for phone, messages, and Facebook. Also, no laptops, emails, phones, Facebook until you're at least 16.
Wow.
If you had a personal computer desktop, not the laptop, then all of your keystrokes were monitored using some program. What the fuck? Parents knew everything you typed, every website you visited. Curfew was 11 p.m. for me until I was 21. Shit! Now I'm 23 and have moved out, and when I go home to visit, my curfew is still midnight. Why would you even visit parents like that?
I wouldn't.
Like, anyone that wants to keep in contact with parents like that, I'm just like, what the fuck?
I think I found one of those TNT crates from Crash Bandicoot.
Until senior year of high school, bedtime was 9:30 p.m. Sunday to Thursday, strictly enforced. 3 hours of TV a week until 8th grade. Mom/sister could use any shoes/clothes they wanted from my closet anytime they wanted to, permission not required. I, however, was not allowed to wear anything belonging to them. No going into my mother's room, no using the bathroom in the basement, no saying never and always, because nothing is never or always. My parents saw these words as exaggerations. For example, if I say something like, "Man, we always have chicken for dinner," I would be reprimanded/grounded. No bringing up things that happened in the past. For example, we would be sent to our rooms indefinitely if we said something like, "I'm still angry about that thing you did 2 weeks ago."
That's some bullshit.
I could deal with all this, but the one rule that really, really messed me up long term was the diary/journal rule. If we kept a diary/journal/any kind of notebook with anything remotely personal written in it, our mother would take it from us and read it. And then she would leave us notes in it to let us know she had seen it. She would give feedback. The only way I could see how that would work is if you were writing poems and like writing writings, and then it's like, oh, I mean, yeah, giving feedback for that type of stuff, but I don't think it's that type of stuff.
No, it's just personal stuff.
She would punish us for things written in our diaries. That sounds bullshit. Her justification when I was reading them was her right as a parent and her way of keeping us safe. I was sneaky with my diaries. I would hide them expertly. I would keep 2 or 3 decor journals to throw her off of my real diaries trail.
What are you doing down here? Get topside. I hear troops are coming to save us.
Yeah, whatever. When she found the decoys, I would throw them out and craft new ones. I would take the real one to school and work with me. I needed my real diary because it was the only place I could freely express myself. So simply not keeping one was out of the question. It was on my person at all times. And then one day in high school while I took a shower, my mom went snooping. She found the real one in the middle of my mattress. She took it, read it, saw where I'd expressed my frustrations about her and life and about wanting to die. She then screamed at me and kicked me out for 2 nights as punishment for writing such horrible things. Why the fuck would you literally kick your kid out when they want? Oh God.
Apparently suicide was too much. Apparently, even though their job is to protect from that too, I mean, that's something to protect your kid from, being extremely sad and potentially wanting to commit suicide. No, that's not, yeah, that's not important enough. Throw him out of the house. Yeah, bullshit.
There's a lot of things that's bullshit with all this shit. But anyway. After years of abuse, they refused to speak to their mother. My mother is a malignant narcissist, so the rules in my childhood home went from bad to straight up disturbing. Okay, there we go. I was trying to figure out a way to word that. Die!
No!
Holy shit!
That guy exploded.
That was fucking cool.
I want a quicksilver because that guy exploded.
What? I just read this thing. It was like I could only shower twice a week. We lived on a pig farm.
What the fuck?
I loathed that rule. I had to wear my clothes at least 2 to 3 days in a row, regardless of playing outside, working, or getting dirty. School was not fun, but I did get into a system where I wore different clothes underneath and shed the outer layers on the bus. Eventually, in my later teens, she slightly loosened this rule. No phone calls. If my friends ever called, I almost always had to say I would see you at school and hang up. Clean your plate rule. I wouldn't give a dog what my mother cooked. If it wasn't finished with my meal first, she would grab my chair and throw it across the room. I then had to take my plate and go to the chair to finish my meal. I never stood a chance. My siblings could inhale a buffet like a soup shop vac, and she always gave them whatever portions looked the most appetizing first. They were, of course, allowed to belittle me when this happened. If I wasn't the first person in the kitchen in the morning to set up breakfast, I would have to take my clothes off and eat naked while everyone else What?! This person would have to take their clothes off and eat naked while everyone ridiculed them!
Wow.
That sounds like some messed up shit, like that fucking damn meat thing hanging there.
I don't think that's how meat works.
I don't think it is either. My father worked 16 hours a day on the farm and wasn't around for most of this. When he saw it one day, he put an immediate stop to it. The damage was done, though. Okay, so at least the father, actually, when he seen it, he actually tried to put a stop to it.
That's good. At least the father was a good person.
Again, the game was rigged for me to lose. I had severe insomnia for years, laying awake every night for hours going over and over about whatever crap had happened that day and how to fight the next crazy storm coming. We were not allowed to set our own alarm clock, so as soon as the signal went off, the rest were already halfway down the stairs before I even realized what was going on. I was not allowed to watch the endings of TV shows / movies, and what we watched is strictly controlled. This is one that actually left huge mental scars for years. It may seem petty, but it's also been well proven that children grow much more attached to a storyline in TV / films than adults do. I need to know how that last plot twist ends, even if to an adult it is cheesy and predictable. My mother knew this and would always barge into the den at the cliffhanger commercial break and turn off the TV. That sounds like bullshit.
It does.
It was a form of hijacking information to deliberately keep me confused and reinforcing her absolute control over every aspect of my life. To this day, I find TV shows I watched as a child and binge the series just to see how each episode ends. She would give ridiculous timings to complete a lengthy list of chores. I would have 20 minutes to get the house clean, dishes washed, dried, put away by hand, vacuum, dust, sweep, laundry started, and bathrooms cleaned. Shit!
This mother sounded like a bitch. What the fuck was her deal with that child?
I don't know. Not being done meant a beating, and even worse was that I was not allowed to go back and finish it afterward. Our house always looked like half a pig den.
Wow, this sounds like half this sounds worse than Out of Story where we put some of our characters through. And that's sad. That's real people. I mean, our people are real to us in a sense, but like, yeah, shit.
Drove me nuts. Also, no using the dryer for laundry unless it was below freezing outside. This was in central Canada. Also, on that note, not turning on the heat at night, even in the dead of February in freaking central Canada.
Wow.
She gave my siblings electric heating blankets. I was told to shut up. Our house is very old and hardly insulated. My mother would frequently sign me up for clubs and activities, then refuse to take me to them in the car. What? We lived at least 10 miles from anywhere, and the vehicle's gas usage was a business. Tax write-off for the farm. She would yell at me to call the other kids in the group for a ride, which was not an option as either didn't have a clue who the heck was in the group, and if it was any of my classmates, they all hated me. There was no way I could call and beg for rides from my very out-of-the-way location. She made me get a summer job when I was 8, picking rocks out of neighbors' crop fields before the planting was done. Technically, it paid $50 a week, which is richer than Bill Gates when you're 8, but I wasn't allowed to have my money. I have worked at least a part-time job since I was 12. By 13, I had to buy my own clothes, school supplies, field trips, and summer camps, which she would always sign me up for and then give me a bill for the cost, because you're working now, so learn to pay for it. She also forced me to sign up for a possible year-long exchange student program in Europe and insisted I pay for it entirely myself. It was $6,000, which I didn't have even a fraction of, and she would have certainly made me pay it or forced me into a loan with her with unimaginable strings attached. Thankfully, she signed up too late and was denied. A year later, she paid for my brother to go on the same exchange. None of this includes the daily battles just to get anything done, the fights that were created out of thin air, arbitrary things being turned into World War III, the constant stress of knowing the next battle is coming soon. I had the shock of my life when I moved out, and it was 100 times easier. Not saying things went smoothly, they certainly didn't, but not having a raging control freak over your shoulder makes everything much easier. I left at 17, never went back.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't go back either. That is all bullshit. Every single bit of that seemed like bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That is ridiculous.
Hey, here's this one. Dr. Phil's advice ruined the rest of their life.
Wow.
One time, Dr. Phil's show told my mother that having a bed was a luxury for kids, so she immediately took mine away. I slept on a cold wood floor until I escaped that nightmare and cut off all contact. My dorm in college was the first real bed I'd slept in for 10 years. I didn't own a bed when I moved into my first apartment after college, so I was back on the wood floor.
Dr. Phil say that a bed is a luxury?
The only reason a bed is kind of a luxury is because it's so damn expensive. And plus, out of story, we usually just end up sleeping on the couch. So, having a bed would kind of be a luxury for us. So
it would be, but at the same time, we're at an age where we're supposed to be able to buy it. Where like most
now taking a kid's bed away is fucking retarded.
Exactly, that's what I'm getting at.
Like the only way it wouldn't be is if they didn't want the bed.
Right. This area loops around a lot. I want to keep that in mind.
It does. Yay. I'd moved it in with the clothes on my back, my cat and her stuff, and my laptop, which I used to make money by transcribing at night while I worked for $7 an hour at a deli.
Huh.
It was the only place that wouldn't hire me since I didn't have access to my own car. I cried myself to sleep every night on that wood floor. It was a reminder of how much I'd failed, leaving myself back in that position. My roommate must have heard me crying one night and figured it was back pain because they lent me an air mattress to sleep on. It was like I'd moved into a 4-star hotel. Eventually I saved up a spare $50 and bought a bed off of Craigslist. Sketchy, but I hadn't owned my own bed in 16 years before that. I still have the bed and refuse to part with it because I don't want to end up on the floor again. I have many chronic back problems that I don't think will ever be fixed due to being forced to sleep on a floor starting at age 7. I take pain meds when I can and do yoga, but it does not help. Sometimes when I can't sleep in my normal bed, I find myself still defaulting to the floor.
Gosh. I need a quick save before I try to make this jump. I think in the back of my head, I keep thinking there's going to be checkpoints, autosaves, and stuff of that nature, but there's not. Oh, hold on.
Hey, it's that dude.
It is that dude.
And he walks away.
G-Man, what are you observing?
Wait, who's that?
I don't know. I mean, G-Man is, I think, some kind of guy from the FBI or something. I think that's the name of an FBI agent.
Okay, when I wake up, I cry because I'm worried I'll always be like this. Parents have no idea how much they can mess up their kids.
I think you can take fall damage. It's official.
Huh?
I think you can take fall damage. Official.
No.
A fellow scientist. I suspected this could happen, but the administrator just would not listen. Here's something.
What? Okay, there's also... How many more of these are there?
I don't know. Probably a lot. I mean, how long have we been recording with your little story time about horrible childhoods? Ah!
You did it.
I did. If I had my crowbar, I might just jump easier. All I need to do is grab the ladder. Damn. Leroy! Damn it. Jenkins!
Dude, what the fuck are you doing?
If you look up, you can probably see me. What I'm actually trying to do. See, there's this ladder.
Oh.
And the sad part is, I practically reach it, but for some reason, he won't start climbing.
You know, I'm just gonna read the rest of these, like, to myself.
See, I touched the ladder, but it just won't grab on.
That's weird.
I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do since I can actually reach it. But obviously it also doesn't feel like it's what I'm supposed to do because it obviously ain't working.
And if people's expecting me to fucking talk about my fucking life and shit, fuck you. Just straight up fuck
Don't
you.
count on the cavalry finding us down here.
But we can still climb.
Yeah. If I can figure out how to. Hit the enemy all the way up there. Alright, no. I think it's Dingway, scientist. Did it.